Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to another episode of Factional Fight Plays Wurm Online. My name is Adam, and as you can see, I'm here solo today. Feyran was not able to make it last minute, and so it'll be just me on the stream. How's it going, Kyoko? Welcome to the stream. Zenomir, how's it going? Now, I was trying to debate on what I was going to do today. Still kind of up in the air, but I've decided that one thing that we're going to be doing is looking at my floor that I've been assigned. That Feyran and I have assigned each other a floor, and we're going to start designing it. So I'm going to do some preliminary designing, and I might even get to building the floor, like the actual. I'm trying to figure out what kind of floor I like there. So we'll see how it goes there. But first, I'd like to show you how things sort of worked out with the surface mining that we've been doing. How's it going? Is it Garganim? Garganim 79. Let's see who else is here. We got Mulrak, Perihelion. Perihelion. Oh, Perihelion. That has something to do with the orbits of a planet around the sun, let's say. Perihelion. That's like I think the farthest away that the planet gets from the sun. Nice name. Skinny Seahorse. Timotheus. Validate. How's it going, everybody? That's all I see in the chat. Although, I've been noticing that Twitch, or at least Streamlabs and Twitch, has a hard time keeping up with people joining the chat. I don't get like a live update of who's in the chat. Never seems to be accurate. How's it going, Mulrak? Timotheus? Hoping for a long stream tonight because I have to run for a bit. I don't know. Well, I'll stream for a bunch. And we'll see how the night goes. I have quite a bit of time to go. And, last week I started streaming a little bit of Clash Royale. I don't know if you caught any of that. I did that for about an hour after we finished our stream. Our stream was maybe 2.5 hours, almost 3 hours long. And Brian was done. He was ready for bed. And on the other hand, I was still good to go. So I decided to stream a little bit of Clash, which is something I've been trying to, squeeze into my schedule. And I had a blast doing that. So we'll see how the night goes. I want to do a whole bunch of Wurm, though. We're going to definitely be playing a whole bunch of Wurm. So here's the surface mining sort of as it's been completed. I've already filled in the dirt back now that I got the rock exactly how I wanted it. And the dirt is put back. So now every tile up here that's on deed. Here, let's get off this wagon. So I had packed earlier sort of like right to the corner of the deed. So this is the corner of the new deed. And right along here, this is perfectly flat. And I made it so that the rock tile, sort of like the rock would be flat right here because I want to get a nice mine entrance. And I wanted it to sort of jut out just a little bit. As you can see, like I sort of surface mined it so it would jut out a little sort of like hump here. And then we'll put a mine entrance up right here with a big door, and that's going to access all the mine network that's going to happen under here. The end goal is to have a boat mine that comes in from the water, right? So the water's out in the front here. We're going to have a boat mine that comes somewhere. I'm not sure exactly where. It might be over here, right where the land comes in, and there'll be a boat mine somewhere over here, or I don't even know. Maybe I'll even open it up right in the center here, and so the boats will come in, and this mine entrance will have some access to that. Yeah, Kyoko. For all I know, I might have 10,000 viewers. I highly doubt that. However, sometimes it's hard to tell exactly how many people are watching. So what's left to do here is to put all the dirt back. All this is rock right now. As you can see, it's winter in Wurm. It's winter, so it looks like snow, but really all of this is rock. And I'm going to be putting the dirt back and trying to smooth out the top there. As you can see, there's like you know, it's still jutty. It's like jagged up at the top, and that's because I had to dig it down to the rock in order to surface mine it, and I haven't put the dirt back. But once the dirt goes back, it's going to be sort of more rounded up at the top, and it's going to gently slope down. We're going to have this little extra hump here, and hopefully it will look all natural. Same with this area over here. It needs to be filled in with dirt. As well, we sort of like planned on this little ramp, in the side here, and that's sort of shaping up nicely. So this is the road that leads down to the water. If you look down this way, right, you can see the road. This road leads down to the water, and then coming up. At this point here, you have a couple ways of going. You can turn right here, and I'm thinking of maybe flattening this out so that it'll be a 2-lane rather than a single lane. That way, that second lane will go up this ramp, okay, and this will all be filled in with dirt and made all nice and level and flat, sort of a ramp that goes up here. That's what you like about my videos. We do everything big. Yes, I really like making sure everything looks just the way I want it. You know, coming into this area, trying to like get it to be just right, I knew that I had to go big. And once it's done, I'm going to be so happy with how it looks. I know that Feyran, when he saw what I was doing, you know, I was telling him what I was doing. I literally started right up here, and I was digging, and he's like, "Why are you digging all the way up here? This is like, you see, if I examine here, this is the part of the lands of Wurm. This isn't even on deed. This isn't even in the perimeter of any of the deeds, and yet I'm starting up here." And the reason was this rock right here was actually higher than where we're standing. It was like jutting straight up. And so yeah, I had to dig all of this down so that the rock would get exposed, and then we surface mined it so that it was all flat, all like sort of like, you know, lower. I didn't worry too much about this jagged point here because this tile here is going to come flat up with this area here. Okay, so all this is going to be flattened back up, and then it's going to come out just a little bit. Maybe the initial slope might be about 30 or 40 or something like that, and then it's going to have a big drop. So the hope is that it looks more rounded rather than a big dirt, you know how dirt walls are. So this whole area will be more like a rounded, natural-looking hill. At least that's the goal. And with a ramp over here. So the ramp's going to probably... Whoa, again, that mouse thing flicking away. Okay, so then this ramp over here, yeah, is going to, you know, be somewhat flat. But my plan is this area here, once the dirt's all put back, is going to be rounded rather than a jagged dirt wall. I'm going to try to round this into the ramp so that this, you know, it's not just one tile to flat up there. It's going to be sort of gently sloped. Same with going off this side here. I've already, you know what? I might need to surface mine just a little bit more along this edge. I hope I didn't mess it up. No, this is rock still. Okay, it's this one. This one's probably going to have to be dug down back to rock. I don't think it ever was. Just so I can get this point. This is the last point that I probably want to bring down just a little bit more to get this ridge gone, to make it more smooth. Alright, Perihelion, hope to see you soon. Let's see. Kyoko, you completed Puzzle Labyrinth. Nice. I'm glad you enjoyed that. You know, we really were happy with how it turned out. The castle was tough, but you loved it. Just wish that you had carried a small barrel of water. Yeah. You know, even you know, a bucket or anything. There was. Let's see, in the castle area, I'm wondering if there was a water tile there. I can't remember. Because Retro did help us out with some water. Getting water tiles in there. Okay, so I feel like the last couple streams we've been working on this area. So I kind of want to take a break from that. Doing the same thing over and over and over again. It just sort of... you know, I don't mind doing it. In fact, I love terraforming. It's just I think that it's going to make for another one of those streams that are just long and and surface miney. So instead of that, what I'd like to do instead is to go into the basement of this building right in here and start planning out my little area that we're going to be building. This is a competition that Brian and I are going to have with each other. The competition is who can decorate an entire floor of a building the best. And at the same time, we're creating our headquarters. So the place that we're going to be doing all of our crafting, all of our stuff. But first, before I do that, I'm going to come over here and grab some materials. Oh, that reminds me. I probably have a full cart. All right. This is okay. I can unload here. I'm going to unload these empty ones. And then the rest are dirt, I think. Just from what I was doing over there. All right. Let's consolidate. And I was thinking I kind of want some slate floors. I really love the look of the new slate floors, and I'm pretty sure all I need for that is bricks and mortar. Let's check that out. Floors. No, floor. What is it called? Slate slab floor. Why didn't floor come up? Okay, so slate slab floor just needs slate slabs and mortar. 2 slate slabs and 10 mortar, and a slate slab takes, ooh, interesting. So no slate bricks. I just need raw slate. That's what I need. And 10 mortar. Okay, so let's get rid of that slate bricks. You know, I haven't made slate floors since they made the change to those floors. Okay, let's try this again. So I won't, this is all the finished bricks and stuff. So I think assorted shards. Yeah. You know, we came back after making the labyrinth, and this room was completely full with stuff. It was like crates everywhere. Because when I organized this room before, it was before they added these crate racks. Okay, slate shards, let's see here. 300 slate shards, that should be enough. Just 300, because it only took... You know what, let's just take another. Yeah, so it was before they made the crate rack. So when I came back after making the labyrinth, I looked at this room and was like, man, I have a ton of stuff to sort coming back from the labyrinth. And I just built a whole bunch of these crate racks. I stuffed a ton back here. So there's 2 more racks, each with 30. And it's just insane amount of rock. Like rock up the crazy wazoo. And then another 30 of just rock. Like, I have so much rock, which is why I'm leaving all of that rock that's on that there just to rot, because I do not need more rock. And there's just more rock. Yeah. So I don't need more rock, that's for sure. Let's compile this, and that gives me another empty crate. That's good. Okay, so that's all my rock, and then I had bricks, and I had shards, and after everything was all done, this room just opened right up, because before it was just completely full. So there was one episode I was trying to make some rare stuff. Just before that, I made this rare fireplace just as I was practicing. Like, what would happen if I just put some rare materials into a fireplace and it turned rare? So, yeah. Oh, and I need mortar. Let's see, do I even have mortar? And is this even more stone? No, I emptied that. Okay. This is a good question. Do I have mortar? Okay, well, I do have a spot that I keep mortar. Now, the hope is the new building, or the building that we're about to design, is going to be an all-in-one building. So it's going to contain all of our storage so that we're not running around like crazy madmen trying to find everything. Nope, that's not mortar. Oh boy. That's not very much mortar at all, is it? And not much materials to make mortar either. Okay, well... Let's just take some clay. I might spend a little bit of time doing mortar. Let's do this. And I'll take the rest of this mortar. Do I have any more room in here? Because I'm going to need some sand. So let's grab another empty crate. Don't tell me I have to go back for that. Do I have an empty crate here? Not a single one, eh? Boy, oh boy. Okay. I may have to go back for those empty crates. You know what? I actually found some empty crates. I know where they are. A little bit closer. Right over here. So this is the building. Yeah. Hey, Draka. You love the crate racks because you cleared 1 million for space out of your mind. Yeah. Oh, for the Impelong. Ah, yes. Is that the Lunalong? Am I thinking that right? The Lunalong? Or is that the Shrimpalong? There's 2 main Impelongs coming up. The Lunalong, yeah. I really want to get out to an Impelong this season. It might be tough for me though, but we'll see. I really want to come out because I love them to begin with. I love Impelongs. But as well, I also have a goal to get my Vanora priest, back up to 100 faith. She's at 99.3, and she's down to 99.3 because I accidentally destroyed something, and that lost me faith from 100. The Halloween drops are apparently live. Huh. Where did you hear this, Fabricant? Was there an announcement? Let's see. Is there an announcement on the forums? I do not see an announcement. No announcement, but people have been finding. Interesting. That's a little bit strange to me. I mean, have the lamps all turned pumpkin-y and everything? Everything turned Halloween-y yet? Or did the devs just accidentally turn it on without really... Interesting. Yeah, the Shrimpalong is just the Impelong that Shrimpy puts on. Shrimpy is a GM. So yeah, that's just another Impelong. Shrimpy hosted his Impelong last year as well. So yeah. Okay. The plan today is to go down into the basement and to go to my assigned floor, which is all the way at the bottom of this building right here. Now, if you haven't seen this building, I know we've shown it multiple times on the show before, but if you haven't seen this building, this is Brian's concoction. I gave him this little plot of land. I said, do whatever you want with it, because I don't have anything to do with it. Or I don't have anything that I want to do with it. So he, this was way back when I first got this village, and he eventually joined me. And the first thing he did was dig the whole thing to rock. Like, just big hole in the back of our deed. And I'm like, what are you doing? And he's like, I'm going to build the building all the way at the bottom, and then I'm going to build it all the way up, and then sort of even everything off at the top with the ground. So now it's like, the flat ground out there just leads into this building from these bridges, and then he hid what's actually happening with these trees and buildings, and like you can't actually see what's going on here. So like if you try to look down in here, what's happening? I don't know if you can see that border. The border of that tile just goes straight down. And yeah, this building, when we're up here, we're on the 7th floor. This floor here is the 7th floor, and then he put this at the 8th floor and he didn't go any higher because he could only put roofs on top of the 8th floor with his skill. With thatching, or whatever. No, it's wood. Oh, maybe he could have gone another floor. Anyway, it's a tall building. It's a really tall building, and here we go. We're going to go right down. Now, we haven't done anything to this building since we left to work on the labyrinth. Actually, we went back to work on the labyrinth, and we left it completely empty inside. So it's like the building was finished, the bridges and everything like that, but nothing in terms of decorating or actually turning into anything useful. So each floor sort of looks like this, a big open space, along with a wraparound. So it's kind of actually a donut building. It's a donut building so that these bridges in the middle could be used to get carts down. Right, so when I'm over here, I'm actually outside of the building, as you can see. Right, I'm gonna go down. Yeah, Brian can't do anything simple. You think the drops were enabled based on server time, no spooky mode yet. Interesting. Yeah, we might come to yeah, we'll see. I mean, I really want to make an effort to make it out to Impelung this year, and so yeah, decor is hard. You're working on the decor of the Colosseum. Yes, decorating I have a ton of problems with too. So that's what we want to get better at, and this is our opportunity to get better at it by just taking some area in a house and working on decorating. Boy, I should have grabbed food before I came all the way down here. I do have some drink, and I have a refresh, and that's enough, I think. Okay, so as you can see, I've been sort of messing around with some thoughts, although I ended here thinking I'm not doing this plan. This plan is really bad. So I'm going to remove some of these plans, and I'm going to redo it back to one of the original plans that I had. Hey, thanks for that. Thanks for the cheers. Is it Garginum? Garginum? Thanks. Okay, so let's remove some of these plans. Another issue that I'm having with thinking about planning this area is this area back here. So like we come down the ramp, and then there's a pathway to the right. It's almost like it'll be a little hallway. This was a mistake. I remember making that mistake. Well, I'll have to fix that wall at one point. And then there's this place. I love this place. This is outside the building. It's actually underneath all the bridges that connect. So what I'm planning on doing with this area is making a little naturey garden area. Some bushes or trees, benches, tables, I don't know. Something out here. But the area I'm having real big issues with is this one. It's a 2x6 or 5. Is it 5 or 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a 2x5 space, which I don't think is wide enough to make a separate room or anything like that. I mean, yeah, I really have no idea what to do with this space here. So some inspiration is going to have to come hit me or something. But this is, the outside of the donut of the house. It goes around this inner space. Now, what I do like about this, having the bottom floor, is I have my own little area that I can put horses in. So I can put like a little gate here or something like that, and I can store some horses down here because the grass will keep them alive. So that's really nice. Yeah, so I'm not sure. Oh, Garginum is the name of one of your characters in Dark Age of Camelot. Oh, yeah. I never played Dark Age of Camelot, but it was definitely a game that was going on around the time that we were playing EverQuest. Another thing I was realizing is that we're going to have to build all the floor openings again so that we can get to the second the second wall up above the other walls. All right, I'm going to remove these, and then the plan is to crack open my beer. So today, I got a beer called Bear Hug. This beer is an IPA. It comes from a brewery called Market Brewery, and the brewery is located just north of where I live. I could probably drive there in about 10-15 minutes. So a little town named Newmarket, and they make a really, really nice IPA. So there we go. It's called Bear Hug. And I've been taking a liking to pouring beer into glasses recently. I really enjoy drinking beer out of glass as opposed to a can. Nothing against cans, but it's just something about drinking out of a glass that makes all the difference. Look at that color. Oh yeah, that's an IPA if I've ever seen one. It's like super, what's the word? It almost looks like a cider, like that. It has that consistency that's thick and yellow. That's some good beer. What's interesting about this one is that it's very smooth. It's an IPA, which usually has the bitter taste to it. Hey, thanks, Fabricant, for that Tier 1 sub. And cheers to you too, my friend. Yeah, so IPAs usually have that bitter, really strong bitter taste, whereas this one, it has a little bit, but it has more citrusy overtones. So you get that citrus instead of the bitter, and for some odd reason that makes it more smooth than most of the IPAs. Alright, so I'm going to go back to my original plan, I think, and we'll see how that looks again. There's my mouse going again. It's like a flicks the screen right up. Okay, so the original plan was I'm going to have sort of like a hallway straight here, right to the wall. So as you come down this ramp, I'm going to just see, let's see here, I need my hammer. I'm going to go straight away, like this, and like this. You had that before, but not so much since you got a new mouse. Oh, interesting. Now my mouse is actually a pretty nice mouse. It's the Logitech G502. It's like a solid gaming mouse. Has some good weight to it and tons of buttons and functionality. But I've been told that it's a known issue. Hey, thanks, Scuffgrim, for that subscription. With your Twitch Prime subscription. It's much appreciated. Okay, so here we go. It's going to be a long hallway. I'm thinking it's going to go right to this wall, and it's going to turn left. And here we have a 3x2 room. How that's going to sort of work out to be, what it's going to work out to be, I have no idea just yet. One idea I had, though, was to make this sort of like put a floor back in here. So it'll be it won't be a 2-story high ceiling, but just a 1-story high ceiling with a staircase, potentially a spiral staircase in the corner, or just a left staircase that goes up like this, for example. And then what I could do is have that second floor go across the hallway. So the hallway for the little bit, for this little bit here, will be covered by sort of like a floor. But then when I come over here, it might open up to the 2-story. So that's one idea that I was thinking of. So using sort of the second story of this floor to create a little bit of extra dynamic feel to it. The only downside, however, would be that I won't be able to get horses up to that second floor because there's no ramp that I can use to get there. It'll only be staircases. And I can't wait until they address this issue by putting in like bridges inside of buildings. Or it doesn't have to be bridges, but ramps, I guess, is really what it needs to be. Just ramps inside of buildings. I don't see how they can do it, but maybe somebody can come up with a way. Okay, so once we turn left here, we're opened up into this big, massive area. This area is huge, and it needs to be broken down into tiny little spaces. As we discussed in the last episode, when we went to look at Lunadu's place, she has lots of little areas that are tiny, tiny little spots, and she can use those tiny spots to decorate them to make them look really nice. Like she had a whole dining room set up. It was a 1x1 space, like just a, you're walking down and there's a one tile space, and the entire place was made to look like a dining room, and it looked amazing. It just looked amazing in this 1x1 space. Up until I saw those types of designs, I always felt like rooms had to be huge, at least 2x3 or something like that, in order to make a dining room. But nope, you can make a dining room on a tiny 1x1 spot, and it looks good. So the goal here is to get some smaller spaces going. Now this room is going to be big, a 2x3. I had considered making it a 2x1 and a 2x2, like splitting it up into two separate rooms. I don't know. Maybe we can make this a 2x1 like this, right? And then we can put I see. Okay, so we can put like a roof up there, like a floor. A floor up on top there. Have a left staircase to lean up onto that floor, and then just make it a one-tile bridge across to this side, and have a second floor thing going up here. Okay, anyway, that's just an idea. Okay, let's continue this hallway. Now, I'm not sure what to do here. Do I turn right, or do I keep going straight? Let's see here. This is going to be there's a 2x2 space right here. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that space. But if it's going to have a thing coming across the top here, then this is going to be... Oh, there goes my mouse again. Where am I looking? Okay. Then this is going to be a low ceiling here. A low ceiling in this area. Okay, at least for this 2x2. So let's close off this 2x2. I think that's a good spot. That's a good little space. Alright, so I could go this way, and I could duck in here to go back down that hallway there. I would, though, however, like some access to this door. This door leads down into the mine, which will connect to the whole network of the mines down there. Oh, there's a cow stuck in our mine. I always wonder how these animals get down here. Do you guys get the same problem? Like in your mines where... Like this mine is pretty closed off. That's not true. There is one entrance. There is one entrance. I'm actually really excited about this little area and how it might end up shaping up. But that's like the cellar. Yes, they die right at the door too, yeah. Well, they're not eating anything. There's nothing to eat down there. Alright, so let's see here. I want to make a final decision here. Now this door I'm going to end up bashing and turning into a wall because, like, yeah, this is why. Let's see, what happens if I climb this? Where am I? Yeah. Whoa boy. Okay, I don't want to get bugged out here. But yeah, this is underneath the bridges. And yeah, nothing going on out here. We had this door here because before there was a ramp. Before we finished up all the terraforming, there was a ramp that led down into the bottom here. And that's how we got all the materials into the building in the first place. But then we fixed it up, but we never fixed the door. So that's going to be a wall there. So maybe this hallway just keeps going straight, and then we have a right turn to the mine, or in a left turn back to the ramp. Maybe that's how we're going to play this. I still don't know what to do with this area. I'm curious to know what Brian's going to do with his area. That's like it's the same on every floor, so he has a similar problem. And I'm curious to know what he's going to do there. But that's okay. Alright, so let's finish this off. So the way I had this before was I had something that went like this, and I'm thinking this is going to be my workshop. And the reason why I'd like this to be my workshop is because it's right next to the mine. So that way I can go down and get some ore, cart it up, bring it right into my workshop. And then I could use this space here or this space here potentially as storage. I need a storage room. I need a storeroom. So actually it's probably better to use this area as the store. Not sure actually. Gotta debate this a couple more times in my head. I would like to have a blacksmithing, like a smithing station, a tailoring station, because I've been doing a lot of tailoring recently. What else might I need? Griphyth doesn't really have any other skills other than all the smithing skills. He's a smith and a miner. But I have been working on my tailoring. Let's see here. I must be missing something. Yeah. Echo? Is there an echo? Is that on my end? Has it always been echoing, or is it just started right now? Let's see. I don't really need carpentry. I don't really have a carpentry station. I didn't touch anything, so I hope that it's... My voice is echoing. Do I have two mic input? Let's just see here. Let's try that. Did that fix it? Oh, here it is. Did that fix it? Is it all better now? There was something going on there, I saw. Thanks for letting me know that. Okay. So I'm definitely going to be working on my smithing stuff. Yeah, I really don't think... You know what? There is one other thing I'd want down here. And that is a dye making station. A dye making little room. Okay. Now the dye making room can be small. It doesn't need to be that big. What do you guys feel like? Do you guys think that you need like at least a 2x2 in order to have like a crafting room of some kind? Let's say I want to make a dye making room or a tailoring room. Do I need a full 2x2 space for that? Or could I fit an entire crafting station into a 2x1 space? I don't even know. I kind of want... I've seen so many people's like little areas that are so nicely, organized. 2x1 works for you guys? Okay. 2x1, because these 2x2 spaces kind of feel huge for just one thing. And maybe it's like I don't even know. Maybe it could be like a 2x2 room that's split into two sections. One side is like just tailoring. And then the other side is all like dye making. So each side is going to need a BSB rack. Let me think about this. Or would a crate rack be better? I think a crate rack for the die making. And a BSB rack for the tailoring would probably be better. Okay, and then we would need a spindle and a floor loom. Not a spindle. What am I thinking of? A spinning wheel? Yeah, a spinning wheel and a floor loom. Yeah, you know, I almost feel like a 2x2 might be needed for all that. So I'll need a BSB rack, a floor loom, a spindle, not a spindle, a spinning wheel. At the very least, needs to be in this space. Yeah, the racks might make the 1x2, yeah, look cramped. It's true. But you know, the problem with crates, they don't hold enough. And I'll need at least at minimum 2 BSBs, because I'll have to have a BSB for the high quality cotton, and then another BSB for the low to mid quality cotton. At least 2 to separate qualities. So if I'm gonna have 2 BSBs, I may as well have a rack. Yeah, I kind of feeling like the tailoring is gonna need at least 2x2, and then my smithing is going to be sort of similar. I'm gonna need 2 BSB racks for my smithing. I currently use 10 BSBs, but I have thought of a way of condensing it down to 8 BSBs. So I'm going to need at least 2 BSB racks. Currently I have all 10 BSBs just laid out on the floor, like running around on the edge of the floor. But I can do with 8. So I'll have 2 racks. And then at least 1 forge. And then I'm going to need, what else do I need for smithing? I'm probably going to use, I'll need a place to store all of the tools and things that I make. So I haven't decided what to do, but probably a large storage unit would probably be needed too for that sort of thing, like just to store armor that's been made and to store the tools that I make and just to clear out the forge. So I'll have a large storage unit, 2 BSB racks. Yeah. So I'm thinking I think a 2x2 space is good enough for that. What's interesting is here I do have enough space to go 2x3. Now if I do like this, see, I'm kind of going against what I wanted to do. I wanted to have smaller rooms, but now I'm just have a rectangular, somewhat medium-sized room. Yeah, the storage units, yeah. You know, I used to use a large cart with 7 rafts. A large cart with 7 rafts. And I would fill that thing to the brim with stuff. And then the large storage unit came and it only had 3 rafts. I make do with that. Okay, let's finish this off. So there's still 1 2x2 space here. So let's just see what it looks like at the end. This is what I kind of had before. This was my first sort of like iteration of it, and I kind of like it better than anything else I did. Okay, so it's just like a big hallway. It's like a round hallway. Like this hallway goes all the way around the entire donut, like this. I'm wondering if I should make 1x1 rooms here. Like, should I make a wall here, like this. And this could be like a 1x3 room. Like you walk in and it's like a long, skinny room or something for some reason or another. Is that even worth doing? You know, I wonder then if you can, I could put like a little staircase, like a spiral staircase that leads up here and make another room on top of it as well here. Hey, the suit man. How's it going? It's morning for you, I guess. For me, it's evening. 9:04. Yeah, so I'm really debating on how much I want to utilize that second story, the second floor. I mean, what practical use could it have? What could I use it for? I don't even know. What do you guys think? Should I block this off like this? Make this like a skinny long hallway and then, you know, split it up into 2 rooms. Let's say one is a 1x3 and one is a 2x3. You know, and I come in here and it's like a little 2x3 or 1x2 room. Like this. Is that worth it? Oh, so you're a night worker. I see. Yeah, I used to do night shifts. Long time ago, I used to work for an ice cream warehouse. The job was to fill orders, so you would just go up and down the aisles of the ice cream warehouse, taking ice cream off of skids and putting them onto another skid and wrap it up to get shipped off to whatever grocery store that was buying it. And I worked the night shift, so it started at 11 p.m. and it went till 7 a.m. That was a crazy, crazy job. Because you had to work in this freezer, this warehouse-sized freezer that was 20 below the whole time. Yeah. I could make it a meditation room. Interesting. Problem is I don't really do meditation all that much. And besides, well, I can see, hold on, let me see how many tiles it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ugh. Because here's where my workstation would be. Is that far enough? Like 10 tiles away? I know you have to move 10 tiles, but do you have to actually move to the 11th tile in order for the meditation to work? Like if I had a meditation rug on this tile here, and then I had a meditation rug on the other tile there, and they're... Okay, let's just count one more time. So I start here, and it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Do you guys know if that's enough tiles away for meditation? It's like this house is 10 tiles wide. I don't know. I think I need to go one more tile actually to actually get the meditation to... Anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start up here with making some slate floors. So let's see, where did my slate go? I'll start by making some slate, whatchamacallits, slabs. What do I need for that? Chisel. Okay, chisel. Slate shards. Slab. Yeah, so you work 11 to 7 Okay, in a hotel. This open Twitch area I have to type in keeps getting pushed to the bottom where I can see it. Where you can't see it. I wonder, are you doing it in a browser or are you on a mobile? I found that the chat on Twitch is a little bit wonky on mobile. Yeah, you think that's too short for meditation? Me too. I think that's too short for meditation. It's close though. And besides, I don't really do meditation. You know, funny story. Way back in the day, meditation kind of worked a little bit differently. So there's this mechanism called enlightening. I can describe the way it used to work because the way it works now is really horrible. It's kind of useless actually. But the way it used to work was that if you were precisely 2 levels above... It's not exactly 2 levels. Let me think about this. I'll give exact numbers so it makes it very clear. So let's say you had a character that was level 9 in one of the meditation paths. So let's take love, for example, because that's the one that I am. So if you were level 9 in Path of Love, then you were allowed to enlighten people from level 6 to level 7. Okay, so for that person who's level 6, instead of going to the special place and meditating on that rug and answering the question there, instead you can go to a level 9 person and they could enlighten you. And that will bring you from level 6 to level 7. Okay, so it was very specific. That level 9 person could only bring somebody from level 6 to level 7. Like, it only bring that person to 2 levels below them. Now, in addition, that enlightenment sort of you didn't have to have the requirements in order to become level 7 that way. Okay, so like the normal requirement is that you have 30 meditation. Right, so you have to have had 30 meditation and you had to have waited a certain number of days since becoming level 6 in order to go to level 7, unless you were being enlightened by somebody. So you could potentially, I think you still needed to wait the time period, but you could be level 6, and I think you only needed level 22 meditation or something like that, like maybe level 20 meditation to get to level 6. And you can keep that level 20 meditation, and somebody could then enlighten you to level 7. And that's what I did. I was so fed up with meditation skill that I just kept my skill at level 20 something. And I found, I think it was Nightshade actually who got her meditation finally up to level 9. I could be wrong. It might not have been Nightshade. Anyway, it was one of our friends. This was a long, long time ago. And they enlightened me. And I just forgot about meditation skill altogether, because once I got to level 7, that's all I cared about was the ability to enchant grass. Now, when I moved over to Chaos, there was a period of time where I was gung-ho about, okay, I'm going to finally get my meditation up, and maybe one day I'll switch to Insanity to get Shield of the Gone. So I started working on my meditation again. I got it up to 30. And then I stopped again because just of how insane it is. It's 36. So I got it to 36. And I was just done. I can't handle skills like meditation where you only get 5 attempts per day, and you only and you have to wait a half hour in between each attempt, and you have to move 11 tiles away each time. It's just too much. So I just forgot it, and yeah. Yeah, I have heard the hallucinations are kind of fun, but yeah, I'm happy with my enchanting grass. Comes in handy, probably far more often than hallucinations would come in handy. And Shield of the Gone for that matter. Okay, what was it? Two slabs per floor, and I'm gonna do these 6 floors, and then I'm gonna think about what to do next. I don't want the entire place the same kind of floors. I want each room to sort of be its own distinct place. So I'll do these floors, and then I'll think about what to do next. I might come back. I might go back up, grab some bricks, fix this wall, fix the other wall, and I'll bring some planks as well, and maybe start working on putting on some openings. Let's do that. Okay, so let's get these floors in. I'll bring 30 of these. We'll do a little bit at a time, and however much I can carry of this, just 2. Oh, what happened to my trowel? Probably moved because of archaeology. That's probably what happened. Huh. That's interesting. I don't have a trowel on me. Or am I blind? Okay. There was a point where I was imping my trowel. I'm just going to double check that I didn't put it in my bag here. Nope. And there's a satchel. Nope. I normally put my trowel in here. Okay, so now here's one thing about being in this basement, is that in order to get back up, you gotta climb the whole way up these ramps. It's a little bit tedious. However, I am a little bit of a hermit, so holding myself up into the basement isn't always necessarily going to be all that bad. Once I get all my stuff down here, if I can get everything that I possibly could need down there, then I will be a happy camper. It's just a matter of getting it down there. That's going to be the problem. Yes, there is that too about meditation, where you could pretty much go the whole day, take that time of waiting a half hour between each meditation, and get no ticks whatsoever that day. That's super frustrating. Super, super frustrating. Alright, let's see. What could I have possibly done with my trowels? Okay, there they are. There they are. There's my trowel. I was going to imp it. It doesn't look like I got around to imping it all the way, though. If I remember, it did get down to about 90, so I got it back up to 93. Oh, I put it in the wrong spot, too. Let me think here. So I also imped my metal brush rare. That was kind of fun. Let's see, what's this one? Okay, this is my... I found that, you know, using my COC metal brush was just super annoying. It's good for getting restoration up, but for getting archaeology up, it wasn't that great. The best way I found to get archaeology up was to use a high quality trowel with high WOA, and COC always helps. But yeah. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, that was a lot of fun to just, yeah, it's like, woohoo! When you imp a tool to rare, that's a good feeling, because there's a very low chance of that happening. Oh, on another note, some great news. I noticed right after the last stream that we had hit 500 followers. So that was amazing. Huge milestone. 500 followers on Twitch. That was great. And so I had purchased another item to give away for that event. However, Brian's not here, so... And on top of that, I didn't get it ready. But I'm going to share with you what it is, and I'm going to spend some time with it and deck it out. Let's see, what did I do with it? Right there, this Supreme Pickaxe. So I went out and got this shiny Supreme Pickaxe, and we're going to get that sucker up to as high as I could imp it. Currently it's at 94. And we're going to give it away on a stream coming soon. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Probably next week. That'll be next week's stream once Brian's here, because I don't want to do this whole big celebration thing without Brian. So once we get Brian on the stream, we'll do a big giveaway to celebrate hitting 500 followers. I'm going to spend some time with it and get some. We're hitting the backup lag. I'm going to spend some time with my priest and get some nice enchantments on it, and hope to God it does not shatter. But I think we should be safe. I'm going to first try to imp it to at least 96. We'll get it to 96. Then I'll do some enchantments on it. Maybe can invest in getting one of those runes that... Is it a rune? Or is it... Oh no, it's a metallic liquid. Yeah, a metallic liquid. That's what I'll do. I'll get a metallic liquid. How much do those things go for these days? Okay, we'll put a metallic liquid on this thing. That way it'll protect it from getting shattered. Yeah, this is where I put all my goodies. It's not that many, but this rare butchering knife, was it this one? I think it was this one. I got it by putting together some fragments. So I had picked up a rare fragment of a butcher knife blade. And I feel like with the changes they made to making rares, once you get one of those fragments, it's a rare fragment of a blade, you pretty much are guaranteed the rare tool, I think, if I'm not mistaken. At least that's how it felt when I made it. It's a guaranteed rare, and that's pretty fun. Did I get what I was coming up here for? Yes, my trowel. Okay, good. All right, let's go back down into the basement. So one thing that I kind of wish I had time to do, maybe we can do this on the stream, that's something that I might do, is to hop over onto the test server and check out some of the priest changes. I'm very curious about what people are, talking about on that forum thread. Have you guys been following this forum thread? The priest feedback thread? It's already on its 9th page, so yeah, I had to do some catching up. But I read a whole bunch. And, there's some good feedback, some good, constructive feedback. There's a lot of complaining as well, but there is some good constructive feedback. And, I am curious to see what people are talking about. I think a lot of people are complaining about the life transfer causing spell resistance, or heal resistance rather. But it seems as though the devs are assuring us that the resistance is so minor that it really doesn't matter all that much. So I kind of want to check that out and see what the truth of the matter is. What am I looking for? Slate slab floor. All right. Yeah, okay. So have you been on the test server, Fabricant? Because I know they added some things to make it easier to get, elbow deep into the priest stuff. I am curious. Okay, you left your mark there. Yeah. I did download the test server at some point, but it's been a long time since I've been on it. Probably since we were, testing archaeology. I'm just gonna go over here and just test, just see if I have it still. The client, the test client. Let's see. Doesn't look like it. I might have to download it. There we go. There's the first slab floor. Oh, Draka, is it that you haven't been on the test server for a long time? Is that what you're saying? Yeah, I my experience with the test server was great. I really thought it was set up in a way that made it really easy to test things out. Before that, I was kind of like afraid to go on there. But my feeling is kind of the same as it was before, that I do have a hard time convincing myself to go over and test things. I much prefer to just play the game because I feel like I'm progressing, I'm doing things that are moving my projects forward when I'm playing the actual game. When I'm over on test, all of that is sort of stopped. And, it would be nice if I had the extra time to just hop over there and help the devs out with, testing things to the ground. But, when it comes down to it, I much prefer to play the actual game. But maybe on the stream, we'll finish this floor and we'll see what happens. I feel like it's still pretty early in the stream. We have lots of time. Now I'm wondering if I want slate anywhere else as well down here. Maybe in that 2x1 room over there. Might put some slate down there. I still haven't decided what that's going to be, but I really love the look of slate. And I think that it would look pretty good in a small room as well. Okay, what happened to the mortar? Hey Mulrock, how's it going? I'm glad you enjoy our streams, and I'm glad that it helps you out. Yeah, there is a lot to learn as a new player in Wurm. A lot of little things going on that you got to figure out. So yeah, learning to place a floor, that's a milestone for sure. I really love the look of this floor. I really liked the way it looked before they updated it. I almost wish that they kept the old floor and just added this one as a new one. I mean, this one looks great. The old one just had a different model and also looked great. It would have been nice if they just kept both. And the old one was way harder to make. Like, way harder. Because to make a slate slab before, you needed 20 bricks. So you had to cut the 20 bricks, or was it 21 bricks? You had to cut the 21 bricks, and then you had to add each individual brick to the slab along with some concrete in order for it to finish. Yeah, it was a little bit insane. But when it was all done, it looked amazing, and it felt so good. Yeah, it was a lot. You needed 2 slabs per tile, and each slab took 21 bricks. So the tile took 41 bricks. I think it was only 4 concrete per slab, so that would have been 8 concrete. 41 bricks, 8 concrete, and 10 mortar. And then I made a building that had 22 tiles of floor. So yeah, 22 tiles of floor. And I made every one of those tiles a slate floor. It was a lot of work. It took a long time. How many horses do you need for a small cart? Small carts can't be dragged with horses, unfortunately. So you need a large cart. Although as a new player, you can build a large cart. It's doable. I would recommend making a large cart. It holds more. You can drag it in the exact same way that you can drag a small cart, so it works the same. It does everything a small cart can do. But in addition, you could also hitch 2 horses to it and drive it once you get enough mind logic to do that. It holds way more, and it is, yeah, in every way, large carts are superior. And they are a little bit harder to make as a new player. It takes just a little bit extra effort, but it's doable. As a fresh new player, it's like you can make a large cart. So I would recommend that. All right. So there's our 6 floor tiles. You know what? Let's go up and get some more of this stone brick. Let's get more stone brick. And I'm going to have to make some mortar. And we're going to fix the issues here with the walls that are messed up. And we're going to also build some walls. I'm going to grab some planks, and we'll just do a couple more things down there. Yeah. Gonna need a lot of beer. Beer goes well with Wurm, I'd say. Do you run out of stamina way faster? It's possible. It's possible. However, I think whether it's a small or large cart, I would highly advise against dragging things a long distance because it takes a long time. If you watch one of our old videos, we did that once. We dragged I can't remember if it was a small or large cart, but we dragged a small cart or a large cart to get water, just like a barrel of water. And we walked all the way to the shore and back. And I've already forgotten what I'm doing. I'm going over here. Oh, you know what? While I'm here, I'm going to get some food. That's what I can do while I'm here. I've been told not to show this thing, but whatever. I'm showing it. It is what it is. This is my magical chest. It's a relic of the past. Ah, sand, yeah. You know, the problem is that you can't really drag a lot of sand. If I'm not mistaken, you probably could only put about 30 or 40 sand and drag it successfully as a new player. I could be wrong about that number. Yes, it is a cool chest. I really appreciate having this chest. There's not many like this in the game. It was made long, long, long ago. And, you know, maybe they'll take it away from me one day. That's okay. If it is an exploited thing and it's, you know, it's not supposed to be in the game and they decide to take it away one day, I'll be okay with that. But while I have it, I'll use it. Okay, why I came up here in the first place was to get materials. So let's start with planks. Planks are over here. Let's see, what do I got in terms of planks? Hopefully more than 100. Okay, good, 160. I gotta work on mats. And I think it's gonna come down to just buying some mats. I need to buy some mats. Let's get some nails. I should have gotten nails while I was over there. So would it be best to make the mortar, then drag, or just drag the chest? Yeah, if you make the mortar... No, you know, it doesn't matter actually, because an equal amount of weight of sand goes into the mortar. So like each sand is 20 kilograms. That'll make 20 mortar. So like, or no. Is that right? Or does it take 1.5? I forget. No, it's 1 kilogram of sand goes into every mortar, so it'll make 20 mortar. So I don't think it matters. You're going to be pulling the same amount of weight, whether you make the mortar there or whether you pull the sand back. Okay. Now, floors take small nails. Small nails, I think. So let's just fill the rest with small nails. And then we'll grab some bricks. Yeah, experiment with how much you can carry. It's possible I'm remembering wrong about how much you can carry. But you know, actually, you don't really need all that much sand because each sand will make 20 mortar. So if you take 30 sand, for example, that'll make 600 mortar. And if you can carry 30 sand, that's, I think, plenty. Let's grab this. And let's see. Bricks and shingles. Oh, I see. I've filled this all up. Okay, I gotta get rid of some of these. No, I want the whole stone bricks. Oops, I want to expand all. Okay, what do I got in here? I'm going to make some mortar. Let's just put some more bricks in here. And more bricks in here. And that should be enough for what I'm about to do. Yeah, over the next little bit, I'm going to have to work on obtaining a whole bunch of mats. Because if we want to finish this thing, it's going to take a little bit of mats, I think. Oh, you got a pumpkin shoulder. Grats. I'm curious to know if they added any new items. I know the devs have been hard at work with the priest updates and everything, so they might be a little busy. And Saruman, man, he's been working. What happened? I'm stuck in the wall. Oh, I'm getting all bugged out here. Here we go. You know, that's one thing that I think that needs to get addressed is all of the bugs regarding getting stuck in walls and getting disembarked when you're walking through buildings. You know, the labyrinth has a ton of spaces like that. Oh, what am I doing here? First thing I'm going to do is fix this wall right here. Let's fix this wall. Now I'm afraid that I'm not going to have bashing rights here. Let's just see what happens. Najo doesn't accept that. Okay, get rid of that. I am afraid, now that I think about it, that I'm going to hit this wall and it's going to be damaged 1 or 2. Yeah, you know, one thing I didn't get the last time was the troll mask. I didn't get any of that. Although I did get the pumpkin shoulders. But I didn't get any of the troll masks. And I'd be interested. You damage the wall, that would be very bad for your karma. Okay, yeah. That's a problem. Okay, let me think here. Let me think. I am going to just not do this right now. I am just not going to do this. So I'm going to have to bash that wall another day. Or I might get Feyran to come and do it for me. Because I am currently now the deed owner of Arwick, which is that deed in the front. Alright, so instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start building these walls. I want to finish this room. Okay, so let's finish the walls, figure out where the doors are going to go. Then I'm going to put openings. I'm going to then build the walls above there, and then I'm going to destroy the openings, and we'll have a room. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do next. So let's see here. Let's start with making some mortar to do that. I brought the clay, but I didn't bring the sand. Oh boy, oh boy. Up we go again. I mustn't be the only one who's this absent-minded in this game. It is one of the things I like about this game, though. The stuff, like the decisions you make affect how efficient you can be, and you could be really inefficient in this game if you make poor choices, like I just did. If you're not really thinking, you can easily forget something super important, like the sand for the mortar that you're about to make. And it was so funny, we were just talking about the sand. How did I forget? You know what it was? Is I thought I had it. I originally thought I had the sand. Okay. So let's see here. Heaps of sand. Do I have room for it anywhere? I don't need all that much sand. But I don't have enough room. Let's just put it here. I select max. That was the max? No? Okay, that's just the max I can carry. Okay, 48. That's enough sand, I think. Because as I said, 30 will make 600. And I don't think I'll need 600. Nor do I feel like I'm going to be making 600 mortar right now. We'll count out what we need. We need 3 and 2. So 5, 10 walls. 10 walls, 20 mortar each, so we need 200 mortar. Which I think is doable. Alright. Now one thing to make the mortar go faster, I think I got, yeah, my WOA clay. We already have 100 mortar in here. So let's pull that clay out of this bag. And let's pull it out of that bag. And we'll do 60 at a time. And let's see, and that means I need 6 of these. Here we go. I kind of like making mortar. Whoops. I like making mortar because of how chill it is. You know, I literally can click a button. And I think this is a good opportunity to go over to, I wanted to check out the news update that we got this week, because I am super excited about this news update. Let me see, can I bring it up here? Because you guys don't need to see me making mortar. There we go. Let's just move that over a little bit. Okay, there we go. So we can see the chat. Oh, and I'm on the wrong one. It's this one. Or not. Retro. Why does that one link there and not to the actual news? Okay, here we go. There it is. So I was super excited to see this thing, although why isn't this working? Okay, let's look at the Google Drive one. Here it is. If you haven't seen this yet, go check it out, because my goodness, does this look amazing. I am so excited to see this come into the game. And why aren't you loading? Are you doing something? Okay. In any case, you can kind of see it, how amazing it looks just still. But the moment that you see it, like, you'll know what I'm talking about. And if you haven't seen it, go check it out, because I don't know what's going on here. This should be working, if I'm not mistaken. Something wrong. Maybe too many people are looking at it. And this was a video as well that's not working, of Emu checking it out for the first time. Bloody Drongo. I'm actually really happy to see the devs giving leaks like this. You know, where Bloody Drongo got like a first glimpse at it on his stream, and then it showed up in the news not long after. That was great. It's great that the Wurm team are giving streamers that heads up. I'm going to try it one more time, because I want to see it again myself. But I don't know what's going on here. Are you guys having this issue? If you go see it, I don't know. Maybe too many people are looking at it. I really don't know what the problem is. I mean, I clicked on it with my phone and it worked earlier. Anyway. In any case, it looks amazing. And the fact that they were saying that it uses less rendering power than the current water, and it looks that good, that's just amazing to me. That's amazing. Yeah, it says it right here. It's even better performance than the existing water. Yeah, that's amazing. Okay, and then there's the fact that bloodthirst is going to be adjusted based on player feedback, which is, of course, the whole reason why they're doing the testing, is so people can test it out. That way you can give feedback, and then they can make changes based on that feedback. So I, to be honest, have no idea how bloodthirst works. I know it's a damage spell that you put on weapons, but I'm not sure exactly how it works. And then here it is. This is, you know what? I know the water looks amazing, but it is a close second to this update, in my eyes anyway, that the hedges are going to get revamped. All those old looking hedges that never really got updated models. There's the Camilla hedge. right? And then the rose hedge. I can't wait for that, because we built a maze out of rose hedges in anticipation that they would eventually become actual rose hedges. And they are finally going to be made in the game. And that's just amazing. I cannot wait for that. Yeah, the different style hedges. Man. In this picture, that's a pretty good drawing of a worm spider. That's awesome. So yeah, I can't wait for the hedges. I wonder when that's going to happen, when they're coming in. But thank you so much to Saruman, who's been putting in so much work recently. And this one here, the water, was done by Samuel, who's also been doing so much for this game. I can't express how much I'm thankful for the things that Samuel has brought into the game. Like, for example, one of the things he brought in was the fact, you see how when I highlight a tile and there's the outline, you can now change the color of that and make it more transparent if you like. Because the old, like the default setting is this thick blue outline, and then around like an aggressive mob, it'll be red. But they were thick, and it stands out a lot. So I changed that to sort of an orangey color, so it doesn't stand out nearly as much. And I made the transparency at least half out or something like that, so that it's you can almost sometimes barely see it. I think it looks a lot better. I might experiment with different colors though. I didn't want to go green because when you're out in the forest, everything's green, so it blends in. I wanted to be able to see it, but I didn't want it to be so stark. So have you guys changed the color of that outline on your client? And to what color? Because maybe somebody's figured out a really good color to change it to. Oh yes, let's get rid of this because can't see what I'm talking about. Right, like this orange outline. That's what I'm talking about. On the tiles, on everything. Yeah, have you guys changed that at all, or is you just using the default? I mean, the default always bugged me. You know, and there used to be a way to turn it off. I think you can still turn it off. But I almost felt that it was there was a lot of circumstances where you kind of had to have it in order to see where, let's say you wanted to build a fence, you had to see where the tile border was in order to build a fence. You couldn't just like hover your mouse around and try to find it. Yeah, you're still rocking the defaults. I'm just curious to know if there's a better color out there, or if somebody's found a better color. You know, one that's not as intrusive, but at the same time, you can still see it against the background or against, you know, the grass or... Oh, you were using purple? Purple might work, actually. Actually, purple might be better than orange because... You know, like the original one's like a light blue. The default's like a light blue, so it stands out really like too much. I might spend a little bit of time messing around with the color just to see if I can find a better one. So what do you guys think about all the priest stuff going on? Are you guys do you guys have priest alts, or are you playing a priest main? And if so, are you feeling like you will be affected by these updates a whole lot? Because I'll be honest, after looking through all the changes, I don't feel like they really affect me in a great way. Like, that's the wrong way of saying it. I don't feel like they affect me in a big way. There's like minor things. After thinking about it, I also don't think I'm even going to change my priest religion. Yeah, you think that it'll allow your priest to do more. I'm trying to think of what more will my priest now be able to do. I'll be able to continue building items and help building structures. So they can now build a house or whatever. My masonry on my priests are nothing because never needed to increase my masonry before on my priests because they never really needed it, never could use it. So they won't really be able to help build stone structures. I should check Nasili, though, my Najo. I should check to see what her masonry is, because she was a main character not before I made her a priest. So she did get some work in. Her masonry might be 40. It might be. So she might be able to help out with that sort of stuff. But what else besides building buildings and continuing structures and continuing items? The the Najo priest, which could mine before. What else could Najo do? Can Najo dig? Or no? I don't think so. But she could mine, that's for sure. She was able to mine before. So now Najo is going to be able to mine and dig. So digging is the extra thing that they'll be able to do, which, granted, is definitely helpful. I think that's helpful. There's going to be Essence Drain that she'll be able to cast. Maybe she could cut wood. Maybe. Yeah, that's possible. It's very possible. Right? I'll be honest. I don't really think about it too much because, for the most part, my priest is there to do things like Strongwall, casting Courier. I used her to do a bit of life transfer casting. She's an animal husbandry, so she tends to the horses and breeding. What else does she do? Not much else. My Vin does farming. So she's very close to 90 farming now. And the enchanting. That's about it. That's what I use my Vin for. I have my Vin priest. So not really much else. I can't really see myself, like I got a digging project, so I'm going to pull out my Najo to help with the digging. I can't see myself really doing that. So you're happy that they allowed you to continue building. I thought it was odd that you couldn't make an altar. Yes, that is definitely one thing that I think was odd. There was once, a long time ago, when my faith wasn't that high, that I took the faith hit to build an altar once. It was a big faith hit, though. I probably lost about 5 faith by the end of it. But I made that altar. So yeah. Or was it that I made a gold altar, actually, now that I think about it? I might be remembering wrong. Nonetheless, it is nice that they are allowing you to do these sorts of things. But I think that most of the changes to the priests were geared towards PvP. That's my sense of it. And so with that in mind, I think that the changes are good. We're going to see a positive, like these are going to do positive things for PvP and combat and make that exciting, because that's a huge group of population of this game. And I think that the PvP crowd are due for a good update. You know? Like they really deserve a game that does what they want it to do. And I think that the fact that the devs are working on it is going to help those players, you know, be convinced to come back and try the game again. And we'll see if things pan out. I mean, once they get PvP working in a way that is fun and balanced and fair, I think then, you know, they'll be in a better position to tackle issues like Epic. And at the same time, I'm not really affected by any of these changes to a large extent. And so I'm happy that they're working on it. I'm happy that the PvE is also getting worked on. I love the graphical updates, and I love the rate at which the development's going. But my overall feeling about the Priest update is that, for me anyway, it's not really affecting me to a great extent. Very minor. Like, the biggest decision I had to make is, am I okay with life transfer getting switched to Essence Drain on my Najo? That was it. And then I mulled that over for a bit, and I've decided I'm okay with getting Essence Drain. I'm okay with getting Essence Drain instead of life transfer. And that was it. What it really was that I couldn't really give up Strongwall. Strongwall is so critical to a lot of the things that I do. And I'm about to make a big boat mine. That's on the docket. And so I'm definitely going to need some strong walling. So I got to keep that. And if I'm not mistaken, the only other priest that can strongwall is Magrenon. Is that right? Or it can... I mean, I guess... does Libella have strongwall? Let me check this. Who has strongwall? Hey, Reganation. How's it going? Soup Man, you're sorry. What is Essence Drain and how does it differ from Life Transfer? So, Essence Drain essentially does a similar thing to Life Transfer, but to a lesser extent. So you hit the mob and it heals you, but again, to a lesser extent. But in addition, it will also have a damage component, kind of like how Frostbrand would damage. So it does a little, it's like a hybrid spell, where it heals you for a little bit and does some damage. And the way I figure it is that, for my characters anyway, Life Transfer is a little bit overkill. Like, I don't ever risk, I'm never worried. I'm never ever worried that I'm going to die when I'm out and about in the regular situation. The only time I'm a little bit worried is when I'm at places like Rifts. I've been to a couple rifts and I thought, wow, life transfer is not doing enough. But aside from that, if I'm like, just fighting regular things like scorpions and trolls and stuff, I am never, ever, ever worried that I'm going to die. And so I figure if I give up a little bit of that healing for more damage, then the mobs would die faster. So I would get hit less anyway, and it would still heal me a little bit. So I'm okay with that trade-off. Okay, let's see. Who can cast Strong Wall? Okay, so Smeagane and Gary currently can as well. And also, of course, Libella. I'm sad to hear that Libella will not be coming to Freedom, because I think if Libella did, I would really have to consider switching to Libella. But let's see. I'm going to look currently at what Smeagane and Gary have. Here, you guys might want to look with me. As opposed to just looking at me pressing a single button to make some order. Okay, so this is Smeagane. This is the current spell list for Smeagane. I'm not looking at the updated one. For Libella. Yeah, switch to Libella just for the Colossus. I totally would switch to Libella. But it has been mentioned by Sindusk that we will not be seeing Libella coming to Freedom. Okay, this is Smeagane. Smeagane has Web Armour, I'm just going to call out the ones that I would use. Genesis, Strongwall. Okay, Web Armor, Genesis, Strongwall. Couple healing spells. Light of Foe and Heal. And Cure Medium. Oh, so Smeagane's a healer. Okay. So let's see, Gary. What is Gary? I haven't looked at Gary's spell list, I don't think, before. Gary's one of the newer ones. Let's see. Charm Animal. It's got a Cure Light. Rotting Touch. What is Rotting Touch exactly? This is a weapon enchant, right? Target causes rotting wounds, but takes more damage. Huh. Is that the one where like it causes the wound to like fester, so over time it just keeps hitting them? That's not bad. We have Frostbrand. Gary has Blessing of the Dark. That's a spell that I wouldn't mind having. However, I would not exchange Blessing of the Dark for Strongwall, I think. But this character has Strongwall and Blessing of the Dark and Genesis. Interesting. Okay. Does Gary have... what do you call it? That thing that enchants mailboxes? No. Courier. Courier is what I'm looking for. No. No courier. Okay. And no life transfer. I see. Alright, well, that's that. I don't know. I'm curious to know if one of those So if there's going to be a priest that has Strong Wall, Blessing of the Dark, Courier, Genesis, and like a life transfer or essence drain. If there's a priest that has all 5 of those things, then I may switch. Because currently the Naja will have Essence Drain, Courier, Genesis, Essence... what did I say? Essence Drain, Courier, Genesis, Strong Wall, and Wind of Ages. So if there's a priest that has all those things except for instead of Wind of Ages has Blessing of the Dark, I might consider switching for that. I know there's a list. Somebody made a list. Let me see if I can find that list of the new priest spells. I think it was in the priest testing thread. Let's see if I can find that. Somebody posted a nice what was it called? A spreadsheet. And then once I finish that, I'm going to start building. Let's see here. Does Essence Drain require 2 priests like Life Transfer? So, in fact, Life Transfer after this update is going to switch so that it doesn't require 2 priests anymore. It will require 100 faith, so you would need a single priest with 100 faith, but then you'll be able to cast Life Transfer. And Essence Drain will be the same, so it'll be a 100 faith spell. Which is awesome. Okay, let's see. Somebody did post this thing, and I just can't seem to find it right now. Can't remember if it was still on the first page or the second page. I'd agree with you, Kyoko. I agree. I did read Sindusk's response to all of the requests for Libla to come to Freedom. He did reply basically saying something to the effect of, it was discussed. The devs did try to, they did think about it, but then in the end it was decided that it would be too much work right now for this particular update. Because the problem is that the code is sort of like intertwined, like the code for Libla is intertwined with the fact that it's on on Chaos, and it's like intertwined with the Kingdom system. So there would be a lot of work. It's doable. It's just outside of the scope of this update. It would have taken much, much longer to get this update working. Man, I found the post that the guy took a whole bunch of screenshots of the in-game spell lists. But I know somebody made a post with a spreadsheet that they made. Just can't seem to find it. And the spreadsheet is way easier to read. Yeah. I mean, I did make a post basically saying what better time to overhaul the code than when you're overhauling the code. Here it is, I found it. But I do, I appreciate the fact that they considered it, and I understand that the reason why they dismissed, or they didn't, decide to incorporate Libla coming to Freedom was it would take a lot of effort. It would just take a lot of time. And they wanted to get this update, out in a timely fashion. I'm sure they want to move on to the next update. Okay, here it is. Hey, Kyoko, you have a question. My alt is the Vanora priest, but she has blood from the horde of the summoned. If she were to go to Chaos, would she remain a Vanora priestess, or would she switch back to Libella follower? Good question. I have the same problem with my Vanora priest. Oh wait, no I don't. It's my alt. I do have a alt Vanora priest, like my battery. Ooh, thank you for that follow. That was loud in my ears. Thanks for the follow. Yeah, I really don't know. I know there's some issue with this. See, I had brought a priest over to Chaos, and I made them a Libella priest. This was an alt. I started leveling them up, doing the whole channel grind. And then later when I decided to come back to Freedom, I wanted to switch her to Vanora. And at the time it was like a really buggy time, so you could potentially, and some people were talking about doing this, being a Vanora priest on Freedom, but then being a Libella priest on Chaos, and flip-flop in between. But they fixed that, made it so that that's not possible anymore. But at the time, they had to manually fix that character. So a GM came and said, you can't do that. We're going to just erase the fact that you were Libella and put you at Vanora. I never brought it back to Chaos, so I don't know exactly what would have happened. Can I share the link for the webpage I'm on? Sure. Let's see if I can do that. There it is. Sindusk is a champion. I'm sure he's capable of doing something crazy like that. Yeah, I agree. In fact, he was commenting on the fact that on one of the servers, or a Wurm Unlimited mod that he was working on with a server that he was doing, he had the mod that made it so Libella can come to Freedom, but he was mentioning that there's a lot of weird bugs with it that normally you wouldn't notice in Wurm Unlimited just because there's not that many people playing. But if you brought that mod over to Wurm Online, it would cause problems just because a lot more people are playing and they're going to encounter, issues with it. So they started looking at how they can fix those, and it just turned out to be a lot of work. And I guess they made the decision that this update will not contain this Libella coming to Freedom. Okay, let's look at this list here. I want to see if there is a priest that has the following spells. Let's go through the list here. It needs to have... Oh boy. Okay. I am going to use the find. It needs to have Strongwall. Okay, here's Strongwall. Line 91. Okay, so what priests have Strongwall? Najo, Magranon, Libella. Huh. Smeagane used to have it, does not have it anymore, so Smeagane lost it. The list for Gary has not yet been released. So Gary used to have it. So we don't know what's going to happen after that. Yeah, if you do, Kyoko, bring her back to Chaos, let me know what happens, because I am curious to know. Okay, so this is a little bit disconcerting, because I know Magranon does not have Genesis, does not have Life Transfer or Essence Drain, and does not have Courier. So Magranon is out. So right now it seems like the only priest that that will still have Strongwall is Najo. So that's pretty much the reason. I don't think I can give up strong wall. That's almost a no-go. I cannot give up strong wall. So I think that's enough of that. I think we're done. Or at least I'm done with making any more decisions with that. Strong wall is a deal breaker. Okay, I am ready to start building now. So let's see, let's bring some stone bricks in. And this corner one is for sure going to be a wall. For sure. So let's do that. Plain stone wall. Plain stone wall. While I decide where the doors are going to be, or door. I may put a door right in that corner there just so that I can exit my workshop and go right into the mine from there. So yeah, there's going to be a door right on the corner here. And then that way this corner here can be used for storage and or display or decoration or something in this corner here. My feeling is that that corner where there's the door currently, let's move this here. This door in this corner here is going to be my actual workstation with the forge and the, access to all the, at least one of the BSBs. So maybe this one will be the other door. That way I'll have 2 tiles of wall here along with this tile here to put whatever else. And then I'll have the ability to walk into the workshop from one side and out the other side if I wanted to. Yeah. I know, I'm still looking at this list here. Why is strong wall so important to me? Well, strong wall is one of the only ways that you can undo, let's say, a mine mistake. So if you are mining and you accidentally mine in the wrong direction, you need strong wall to fix it. But I also use a lot of strategies of getting mines to look exactly how I want them to by mining out paths sort of to access areas that I wouldn't normally be able to access, and then I would strong wall it back so that it sort of like, it's hard to explain actually. But if you've been to the labyrinth, or if you saw the video of the labyrinth, any of the videos of the labyrinth, in the mine that's under the city, there are a ton of pathways that lead to multiple different heights. And the way that I was able to get there was that I had mined a sort of a temporary access to certain areas. That way I was able to mine it to a certain height, like I could set the height there, and then it would connect to a lower path that was like, it would create a drop shaft, and then I would strong wall it so that it blocked off that temporary passage, leaving a platform that was really high up and a drop shaft to the lower area, right? So without strong wall, I wouldn't be able to do things like this. I'm about to undergo another project of creating a boat mine. A boat mine that leads from this mine entrance that was just over here. That's going to go all the way down and go out into the sea. So underneath this building will be access to the boats. And when I take on like a boat mine sort of project, I am almost guaranteed to need strong wall at least a few times. It's probably one of the most frequently used spells that I have, aside from enchanting, is strong wall. Yeah. It's very valuable to me anyway. Like, it's a great utility spell for projects, you know, mining projects. And I'm huge on mining. Huge miner. So, like, I'll be honest, I have a lot of priests, but I really don't use them to the extent that their spell list says. Like, my Vanora priest, I use Wind of Ages and Circle of Cunning. Those are probably my top spells that I ever cast. And then after that, I can't even think of another utility spell that I ever really use her for. I really don't think I do. Yet my priest, I made that priest from scratch, and I got her channeling all the way up to 94.5. All specifically to cast Wind of Ages and Circle of Cunning. That's pretty much it. And then the Najo, or those 5 spells, are really the only ones I really use. Is Strongwell, Courier, Life Transfer, Genesis. And I already forget the last one because I don't really use it that often, I'm sure. Stone bricks. No, I need mortar. Mortar. Let's just get enough for 20. Okay, so this one is going to be... Did I already make a mistake? I did. I am making this a wall, aren't I? Goodness. Okay, let's see. It's not finished yet. So what happens if I bash it? Whoops. Yeah, you should go back and do the labyrinth again. You can take another character and get another one of those prizes. Yeah, totally. Go and do it again. And quick question, what is the best way to raise channeling as a Vanora priest? Huh. I'm sure there's faster ways than this, but this is the fastest way I know of. The fastest way to raise channeling that I know of is vesseling gems. Okay, that wasn't so bad. Okay, so opulence is a great way to start. So if you're starting from 0, I'm not sure if that's where you're at, but if you're starting from 0, what you want to do first is either like usually bless is a good way to begin, but opulence will bring you to about 30. It should be able to bring you to about 30. Some people would argue you can go much higher with opulence, probably to 50, people might argue. I would recommend, though, to weigh your options, because once you get to a certain point, opulence starts giving such little gains, like so little. And technically, yes, you could probably make it all the way to 50. It would just take you forever. But once you're in like the mid-30s, you can start casting Vessel. Mid-30s is probably where I started. And it was rough. Vessel is a high difficulty spell to cast, so you fail a lot. But when you successfully land it, you get a really big channeling tick in comparison to opulence. The downside to Vessel is that it costs you a lot of gems. But if you have access to a lot of gems, then I think Vessel is the way to go. Maybe one day I'll do a sort of like how I do it. There's a lot of ways to improve efficiency on casting Vessel to get your channeling skill up. But yeah, make sure you're about 35 or something like that. Najo. You know, I did the vessel thing with Najo as well. Najo doesn't have morning fog, I don't think. Am I right about that? Morning fog. Yeah, Najo doesn't have morning fog. So Najo, I did the same thing with Najo. I got it up to about 35 or something like that using... What did I do? Najo has something. Oh, I know what it was. It was light token. Najo has light token. So I used light token up into about 35, and then I started vesseling. Okay, let's try to do this right here. So I need a plain stone door. That's what it is. There we go. And I need 2 more bricks. Yeah. So yeah, if the priest has a 5 favor spell, that's the spell that you start with. If it's a 5 favor spell. So if you have morning fog or light token, those 2 are common 5 favor spells. Those are great ones to begin on, because by the time you finish casting, you'll have almost regenerated the 5 favor. And if you didn't, then the next tick you'll definitely. So you can literally cast and you just wait for 1 tick, and then you cast again and you just wait for 1 tick. And you do that over and over and over again. So that's the fastest way to start off. Although it slows down at around 30. At around 30, you're going to start seeing really slow gains. And again, some people argue that you can just sit there for hours upon hours and eventually get it to 50 that way. I just found it was way too long. Yeah. And then if you don't have a 5 favor spell, then Bless will get you to 10. And Opulence will get you to about 30 or so. But once you're in the 30s, everything slows down, and I really feel as though Vessel is the way to go from there. Now, I know there's some people who probably have better strategies than this, but this is the best strategy I know of. And Vessels also takes a little bit of like figuring out. It's not so straightforward. It's not like regen your favor and then just cast it. Vesseling works in a weird way where the amount of favor that you currently have gets, you know, like let's say you have 10 favor and you cast Vessel on a gem, then all but 5 of the favor that you have, so 5 favor will get put into the gem. I think it doubles it or something like that. I don't even remember. It's like if you channel 5 favor into the gem, then it will store 10 favor. It's something like that. I can't remember exactly how it works. But if you have, let's say, 70 favor, and then you cast Vessel on a gem, then 65 favor will get stored into the gem. And you don't want that to happen, because then the gem gets completely filled up, and then when you go to use that gem, it gets completely destroyed in one shot. So the idea is to try to put as little favor as possible into the gem as you possibly can. So you can start casting Vessel when you have 7.5 favor. So you want to start casting right at that moment, at 7.5 favor. That way the gem, you will channel such like as little as possible favor into the gem, so that way when you use that favor, you use that gem, it will decrease its quality by the smallest amount that you possibly can. That way you can re-vessel it again and repeat that process over and over and over again. Now, this is the exception, is if the gem is already below 10 quality, then you won't store any favor into the gem, but rather it just removes, I think it's 3 quality from the gem. This is why people like the 10 quality or less gems, because you can just you can fill your favor bar up to 100 and just cast on the 10 quality gem over and over and over again, and you're not going to store any favor into it. You're going to just cause its quality to decrease by 3. Whoops, what am I doing here? I am happy that I did not have any materials there, because if I did, I would be creating another door where I don't want a door to be. Okay, let's get mortar first. 20 mortar. It's really hard to explain. I think it's way easier if I show it. So maybe I'll make a plan to show that one day. No, I'm doing it again. Boy, I'm really bad at this. Okay, so plain stone wall. There we go. Whew. Yeah, people sell the lower quality gems for a higher price because those lower quality gems are way easier to manage when you're trying to vessel. Like if you have like a bunch of low quality gems, you can just fill your favor bar and just cast vessel over and over and over and over and over without thinking. You know, each time you cast, it's going to lower the quality by 3, and it's going to give you a skill tick. You know, so eventually you'll use up all the gems, but you know, you're really exchanging the gems for channeling skill. Yeah, and then once the gem quality is above 10 quality, so if you're dealing with like a 20 quality gem, yeah, you know what? Let me finish this wall and this door, and then I'll switch over to my priest. I have a bunch of gems, and I can show how it works. I think it'll be easier for me to explain it when I show it. That'll be an interesting little segment there, I think. Let's finish this door here. Plain stone door. Because we are at we've been streaming for about 2.5 hours almost now. And here I want a door. Yeah, now's a great time to get into priests. I mean, this priest update is going to make priests way more accessible. I'll tell you what, I really think, and I've said this before, I think this priest update is a great move on the part of Code Club. I understand why they're putting priority on this one over the other ones, like such as combat or UI. I think the priest update has the potential to bring in more revenue than the other ones, because people are going to get interested in priests and put premium on their priest characters. It'll potentially get people who aren't playing anymore to come back and, you know, put premium on their priests again, just to see how, you know, things have changed. So I think it does have the potential for more revenue for the game, which is great. I am all for anything that can bring revenue into this game, because it would be a super shame if this game could no longer support itself. I've seen that happen to so many games. Okay, so this room is looking pretty good. This door will be gone, so I'll put my workstation right over here somewhere. And then I'll put some more storage things over here and display things over here. I know it's a little bit bigger than I had originally wanted it to be, but I think to use the space that I have here, this is good. This is good. Okay, so let's switch over to my priest, because I think that would be interesting to show that. Just going to put my horses away. Now I haven't done this on stream before where I switch characters. I haven't done that before. So, and I just realized I don't have premium on my priest right now. So I will go do that because I have been meaning to put premium on my priest. We got some lag going on here. So while I'm driving down here, I can not run into walls here. Let's see here. I gotta put some premium on my priest. Alright. Okay, let's do that first before I put myself to bed, otherwise the screen's gonna be black. Just bear with me for another minute. Okay. There you go, Code Club. Another premium. And I can... You know what? I'm just going to log out. I don't need to sleep. Okay, and let's bring up... So my hope is that when I log back in, it just pops up onto the stream. Never done this before though, so we're just hoping. There we go. And I did switch to the wrong priest. Let's try that again. Shall we? Try that one more time. That was my Vin priest, but I put premium onto my Najo priest. I figure if I'm going to grind a little bit of channeling, I should do it on the character that I have lower channeling on. Alright. What happened here? There we go. Too many wagons here, blocking it all off. And it's a little laggy as things are rendering in, but once they do, I think it should be smoother. Okay. So let's go up into the priest tower. See, this large cart is where I stored everything. We were talking about storage. And I used to have everything in these 7. You can see how I labeled them there. And, whoops, maybe you can't see. Enchant me, 70 to 90, 70 to 80, 80 to 90, and 90 plus. So I had everything like organized in these. And then we got these storage units. So I created a storage unit. And you can see how having 3 means that I can't organize it as nicely as I wanted to before. So everything's sort of like mishmashed into here. So let's see here. Random is probably where I put my gems. No, I got some source. Gems. Okay. So let's see here. Let's use my emeralds. Okay. So I'm going to just show you how I optimize everything here to get the best sort of scenario. I'll just grab a bunch of high quality gems. I'm going to assume that, you know, maybe I'll also show some low quality gems as well in a bit. But let's just start with these 4. I'll just also show this low one just to show you what it does. And another thing I'm going to do, I wonder where it is. I'm going to also put on some armor. So let's grab, you know what? I have my Drake set. Drake should be enough, but I think, you know what? Let's just do the plate. Let's just grab some plate armor. Now, putting on plate armor makes it so that you regen favor slower, which normally is something you don't want to happen. You don't want, you know, it to regen slower, except for when you're channeling Vessel, when you're trying to cast Vessel. How come I don't have any sleeves? Whatever. I'll just use my Drake sleeves. That's enough. Okay. And then I'm going to also need something to bless, but that's okay. I can probably just bless something. Okay. So I'm going to embark this cart because, and I'm not 100% certain about this statement, but I think that when you're embarked on a cart, it adds difficulty. Now, this could be just like a complete superstition that's not actually true. But if it does increase difficulty, then that is a good thing. Because my channeling is high enough, it's at 75, that I successfully vessel, but I don't get ticks, which means that I overshot the difficulty range. Like, if you're not familiar with how the skill up works in this game, is that if you do an action, any action in this game, it could be mining, digging, whatever it is, if you always roll a dice, it's a hidden roll that you don't see, okay? And that roll will determine whether you fail or succeed. And then if you succeed, it also determines how well you succeed, right? So just for sake of argument, I don't think this is how it exactly works, but this is the gist of it. I'm going to use the example of, let's say you have 100 dice, like 100-sided dice or something like that. And you will fail completely if you roll a 30 or less. You will succeed if you roll a 30 or more. So obviously if you fail, you get nothing. So you roll and you get a 30 or less, you get nothing. But there's like, if you get a 31, you succeed. However, the outcome is not going to be a great outcome. Like, for example, if you're mining, it means that the rock shard that you mined is going to be like low quality in comparison to what your maximum is, for example. But if you roll really high, like you roll and you get a 98 or 95 or whatever, then what's going to happen is you're going to succeed really well. And you're going to get, you know, the max quality rock shard or whatever it is. Okay? So in Wurm, you're only going to get a skill tick if you succeed, but you don't succeed that well. Like, it has to be like in this range of like above the failing, but below this level of like succeeding too well. Now, with mining is an easy example to explain with, because you actually see the outcome when you mine the rock shard and it comes out at a certain quality. But you only get to see that if your mining skill is high enough that, you know, the rock shard can come out at lots of different qualities. Like, your mining might have to be 70 in order to see that, for example, it came out at 60. But let's say your mining's only 40 and you mine and you get a 40 quality shard. Well, you don't know if that roll was 60 and then it got capped to your skill. Okay, so that roll was hidden in the background. It could have been 60, but then your skill sort of capped the quality. But if your mining is sufficiently high enough, you can see it. So you mine and you succeed, and the shard comes out at, let's say, if it comes out anywhere between 1 or above 1, sorry, anywhere above 1 but below 40, you'll get a skill tick. Like there's that sweet spot. Anywhere above 40, you're not going to get a skill tick. So the strategy for optimizing your skill gain is to mine, with a pickaxe quality and a vein that has enough difficulty that you're getting most of your shards between 1 and 40, but no more and no less. So all skills work like this, including channeling, but with channeling, everything is hidden, so you are not going to see anything. My feeling is that being on this cart is going to increase my difficulty, which will lower the outcome. My hope is that it's going to lower it into the range of optimal level. But if your channeling is low, like if you have only 30 or 40 channeling, you probably don't want to do things like this. You want to probably be standing on the ground. Because you're going to, like, if you're finding that you're failing a lot, then you want to increase the chance that you succeed. Okay, so let's get going on this. So I'm going to first, I have on here my favor. So I'm going to try to get that favor to as low as possible. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to just start cast on something. So on this yellow plowston, I'm going to, you know what, actually, I could cast light token. So let me set up some keybinds. Bind, let's use K and L. K light token. And bind L vessel. Okay, so I'm just going to cast a bunch of light tokens to get my favor down below 7.5. Speaking of being drunk, I've been neglecting my beer. Okay, so I'm going to cast until my favor is below 7.5. So one more. Okay, the first one, if the first cast is going to be is going to take a little bit of time. So we're going to have to now wait until this goes up to above 7.5. And for that, just that first tick, I'm just going to bring everything off. Okay, hopefully if everything goes well, I won't have to do this again. Okay, so I'm going to give it one more tick and then I'm going to put all my armor back on. There it is. Okay, so all my armor went back on. And then the next tick, I'm going to cast Vessel right away. Okay, there we go. So casting Vessel is a 30-second cast. I'm also going to turn on my sleep bonus while I'm at it. It's a 30-second cast, and in that 30 seconds, I'm going to get at least 2 ticks, possibly a third, depending on which, how the server's going. But I'm on Xanadu, so Xanadu, you're going to get less ticks by a short margin. And if this works, I'm going to use it right away. Use. Okay. Now, I don't know if you saw that. It was really fast. But I put so my favor went right down to 0. Okay. And then as quickly as I possibly could, I hit use. And that brought my favor back up to 7.2. And then it ticked to bring it above 7.5 to allow me to cast it again. I'm going to do it one more time. Oh, it didn't work. I failed to channel, which is okay. Whoops. If you fail to channel, you're going to lose one favor, which is okay because you lose one favor, which is still just slightly below 7.5, and then it'll tick again. Okay, so hopefully okay, the favor went above 9, which is not ideal, but it's not the worst. So hopefully this goes in. And then I'm going to use, and then I'm going to cast Vessel again. Okay, now the moment that this goes, like, so it's gotten up pretty high. The more favor I have, the more it's going to give me back when I use it. Which is okay, because once I get above 12.5, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cast another light token to bring it down to 7. Okay, so I'm going to use... Oh, it failed. You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to cast the light token. Yeah, it's probably... Being intoxicated probably makes it harder to cast. That's very probable. Whoops. L. Okay. Now, with this method, the hope is that you're casting often. Like, you just keep casting. Of course, I feel like I'm failing. So I might just get off this cart. But we'll see how it happens if I fail too often. So cast, use, right? And just below 7. And then it went over 7.5, and now I cast again. Like, that's like the ideal situation. Is that right after you use it, it brings it back up to about 7, and then you get a tick that goes to 7.5, and then you can cast right away. See, it's like really hard to explain it. If I wasn't showing it, I can't imagine myself being able to explain this well enough. Like, and already I got 0.02 channeling just from... Oh, it ticked. Okay. You kind of have to be quick, because the more that your favor goes up before the cast lands, the more favor is going to get stored in the gem. So when you use it, it gives you back a lot more favor, and then your favor starts going up too high. Now with Najo, you have light token to get rid of that favor. Right, you see, now I'm up to 11. So I might actually just bleed that. I think 11 is around where I should get rid of it. Bring it down, and then I just wait for the tick. So 6.5. So it might take 2 or 3 ticks now. Now, if you're rich enough and you have enough gems, it might not be that big of a deal to fill a gem when you have 12 or 13 favor. All it does is it brings the quality of that gem down faster. But if you want to conserve your gems, all you do is you just, all you do is focus better than I'm focusing right now, and try to optimize when you cast that vessel. It just means it'll take more time. But if money's not an issue, you just vessel and use over and over again. You can bleed some of your favor every so often, but right, if you have a Vanora, you can't really use this method. I mean, you could use the method, because it just means that you wouldn't be able to cast a spell like Light Token to bring it down to 7. You would have to wait until you got to about 17 favor, and then use a spell like Opulence or Bless or something like that to get rid of it, because you'll have to spend at least 10 favor to bleed it off. So it just means you'll be burning through gems a little bit faster. There, that was a good one. It went to 7.3, and then it popped up to 8. So if I had plate sleeves, it would just mean that this number would end up regenerating slower. Like, I'll get less amount of favor back each tick. So it just makes it better. That's all. The slower you can get your favor to regenerate, the better for this method. Yeah, so look, I already got 0.04. That's pretty good. Right? I mean, we haven't really been doing this for all that long so far, and I've only used about 20 quality off this one gem. So yeah, it's kind of boring. You kind of just have to, it's not only boring, you have to be focused. You have to be watching for when that cast bar hits the end and you hit the use, and you have to, it has to be a quick sort of thing. The moment your attention gets taken away, it messes the whole system up and you got to start again. Either that or you're wasting quality on your gem. Okay, anyway, let's stop this for a second. I'm going to show you something else. So the other thing I'm going to show you is how you can use the low quality gems. So if you have low quality gems, what you would do instead is you would probably you'd first fill your bar. So let's see. Let's put 10 of these in there. I'll sacrifice this. Let's see, do I have more low quality gems? Let's see. Here, a couple more. I'll just use my low quality gems. I'll show you how this goes. It goes a lot nicer. Not the black opal. Let's leave the black opal there. A lot of little cruddy ones. 7's pretty good. Here, I'll just use them all up. I'll use them all up because this goes a little bit faster and a lot nicer. So you fill up your favor bar, and then you just cast Vessel. Okay, and I'm going to show you what happens. So on this one, on the one that has 2 quality, if I'm successful, it will completely destroy the gem and give me potentially a channeling tick. If I'm successful. Because what it'll do is it'll reduce the quality by 3, and if it's below 3, it destroys it. There. The gem is too low quality to store any power, and it is damaged a bit. But you can see how you can just like continually cast. Like you don't have to stop or think about it. So the reason why people want all these low quality gems is because they can do this and watch a TV show at the same time. Like you don't have to worry about making sure you're paying attention the moment the cast bar finishes. You just queue up a whole bunch of actions. Right? You see how that one brought down the quality by 3? And then I'm just going to cast it on this one again. So I'm just like queuing it all up on all of these. I just queue it all up, and then I turn over, 30-second cast time. I have 6 casts, so I have 3 minutes where I can literally do whatever I want for 3 minutes and not have to pay attention. Right? So that's why the low quality gems are more valuable. People want the ability to just hit the cast bar and have 3 minutes to do whatever they want on their other characters, or they can watch a show, or whatever it is. It makes it a lot easier. Now, what I do is I use the first method until the gem is down to 10, and then I put that gem into a bag. And I take all my high quality gems and use the first method until I have a ton of low quality gems. And then I'll take those low quality gems and do this with it. Now, as I said before, I am not sure if this is the fastest way. I can't be sure. I'm sure there are other ways that you can use to channel, like grind your channeling skill. But as you can see, like this isn't that bad. You know, people complain about the channeling grind, and it isn't great. But I think compared to other skills, like there are skills that it goes about the same speed. Like I would say mining is about the same speed as this. Like we've been doing this for what? Maybe 15 minutes at most? Not even. Maybe 15 minutes I've been doing this channeling. And, you know, we've already gotten 0.07. Like that's not bad, right? At 75, like that's not bad. Now on my Vin Priest, I did this method all the way up to about 85. Yeah, about 85. And then after that, I got to 94.5 simply by doing Wind of Ages or Circle of Cunning. Okay, now you get a lot less channeling skill. Like you might get about half the amount of channeling skill doing Wind of Ages. But the way I figured it was that I was making a lot more money that way. Like this you're spending money doing this, right? You're spending money doing this. Whereas Wind of Ages and Circle of Cunning, I'm casting tons of stuff, and at the end of the session, I not only have the extra skill, but I also have a whole bunch of items that are casted. Now, of course, with Wind of Ages, you need the favor. So you need to like make a whole bunch of favor to get that all set up first. Either that or you buy the favor, one or the other. Whoops, I'm casting light token. Okay. Let's stop casting that. Let's just... So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of these... Oh. I'm going to get rid of these gems. Let's just burn through the low quality ones. And I think then we can call it a night. Actually, no. I kind of want to do what I did last time. So I've been streaming Wurm for about 3 hours. It's about 11 right now. And I'm kind of interested in trying to do another Clash stream. And because I really did have fun. Last time there was about 5 or 6 people who stuck around, and by the time I was done, there was a few more people showed up. I even had one person who had no idea about who we were. Factional Fight, they had no idea about Wurm. They just kind of stumbled upon the channel because they were searching through Clash streamers, which was kind of cool. And so I'm kind of interested in doing it again, play a little bit more Clash. Maybe one of you might get interested in the game, because it's a neat little game. It's a lot of fun, and it's one of the only games that I've in recent times that I played that give you that epic win type feel. You know that. Yeah, it's called Clash Royale. It's by the company Supercell. They make mobile games. They made Clash of Clans. If you know that game. It's a quick little battle type game. You enter into the battle with a bunch of troops, and you can place the troops down, and they have their own AI. So the troops will go do their thing. And the goal is to destroy your opponent's towers. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I mean, granted, I do explain things as for a living. Ah, thanks for the cheer, buddy. Garganin. Thank you very much for the 100-bit cheer. Yes, I try my best to explain things as easily as can be understood. I as a profession, I'm a teacher. I'm a high school teacher. I teach math and I teach physics, which are two really hard subjects. And if you can't explain hard concepts in an easy to understand way, then you lose half your audience right away. So I'm practiced at it. I've practiced it a lot. Alright, so let's finish up these gems. Okay, nice. Teaching is one of those things that I just love to do. I am so blessed that I am able to have a career doing something that I love doing. Yeah, it is not simple to be a teacher, absolutely, yeah. It's especially a high school teacher. Before I became a high school teacher, I had a lot of different experiences teaching. My first was teaching university students. It was more like tutoring, but I looked at it like teaching, right? I don't need that much more favor. And then I was also helping adult learners. So I was tutoring adult learners. So my first two experiences were with older people. And there it was a lot easier, in my opinion, to teach because those people really wanted to learn. They were coming to me because they were committed to the courses that they were taking. University level students and adult learners. They're doing this because they're committed to learning it. So they're coming to me with the genuine, with a genuine need to learn the material. And then when I started teaching high school, it's like a whole different story, because half of the students there are there just because they have to be, and they don't really want to be. So I spent a lot of time trying to figure out and struggled with the question of motivation, how to spark that motivation within them. I did a lot of research, actually, and I took a whole course where my main focus was to answer that question. How to increase motivation to learn. Like in a more natural way, like what motivates people in general to do anything. And I tried to incorporate that. All they think is sex and have fun. Yeah. I'm also lucky that I'm at a school where it's not 100% like that, because there are students who have a genuine interest to succeed in life. It's a relatively affluent neighborhood, meaning like they are well off, and their parents put a good amount of pressure on these kids to be successful. They want their kid to be a doctor or a lawyer or whatever it is. So yeah, I don't have it too bad, and I really enjoy it. All right, I'm gonna put these gems away, and then we're gonna end the stream. Let's put my armor back on and put this armor back. Goes back into here. All right. Well, I hope you guys learned something there. It's, you know, the channeling grind isn't that terrible. Look at that. We got 0.155, which I would say is a pretty decent amount of channeling for the amount of time we just spent there. Of course, I would love to see this channeling get up there into the 90s, but, you know, this is the rate at which skills in Wurm go. They go this amount each time, and you do this a little bit each day. Like if I did this every day for a month, right? Every day I log in, and for a half hour I do channeling. And I do that every day for a month, right? This number would go up. It would go up by quite a good amount. And then I do that for 5 months. I do that for a year, right? By the time, like, this is how people go about getting the high skills in Wurm. So if you're a newer player and you're looking at, you know, your low skills, and then you're seeing all these people with all these high skills, just know that the way that they got there was they played a little bit each day, and then they did that for a year or 2 years. This is the type of game that can suck you in and keep you in there for years. It's not one of these games where you're done with it after a few months. It's like it totally can capture your love and affection for a ton of time, as it has for many, and for myself included. And then in the end, that's where your skills go. I mean, like, that's how this rope making got to where it is. A little bit each day over many, many, many years. Okay, let's see here. We got, well, I'm going to go to Wurm more and look at my alts to see who to be a priest, and try not to go to sleep. Nice. So you're off for the winter. That's nice. More Wurm time. All right. Well, I'm going to end this stream, but I'm going to start it right up, like in about few minutes. I might even actually start it up and do the starting soon screen again, just so that you guys know it's like live and you guys can stick around if you're interested in sticking around. I'm going to play a little bit of Clash Royale, and if you never seen Clash Royale before, it's a great little fun mobile game that it's like one of the only games that I have found to give you that epic win feel. And I don't know if you've ever played a game that gives you the epic win feel, but it's that feeling that makes you slap your hand on the table and go, yes, that was just amazing. Like, that's the type of feeling that you get when you have those epic wins. There's also epic losses, and they give you a similar reaction where you slap your hand against the ground or the table and you just epic loss. So it's a game of ups and downs, and it's just a lot of fun, a lot of energy, and they're quick games. And if you're not going to stick around, that's great too. Hopefully you come back and see our show next week. We're going to try to keep up our weekly schedule, and we'll be back at Wurm again. No doubt Brian will be there next week. He doesn't like missing 2 weeks in a row. Thank you for that follow, Minuet. It's Muet. It's Muet. And so Fayran will be back next week, no doubt, and we will for sure be decorating. I'm going to put a little bit more work into the building this week, and hopefully there'll be something to show of it on the next stream, and then we'll just get right back to it. And most likely Brian will be working on his section too. So until then, don't go away, because we're going to start up again. But yeah, we're all done with this one. I'm going to put her to bed, and don't go anywhere. If you're heading to bed, have a good night, and we'll see you next week. But yeah, let's do some Clash Royale, shall we? All right.